5 years ago, what did you set out to do in these greenhouses with your compost?
Well, first of all, we came and saw Phuong and asked him what he was seeing in his greenhouses. He had an issue, he continuously had an issue in one of his greenhouses where he'd been growing eggplants for some time. They'd grow up to a certain height and then they'd collapse to an extent. That's right, we had a look at them, we took some samples back to SARDI and had a look at them, and he was suffering from probably a bit of a disease complex, soil-borne fungal disease that was affecting his plants. And it was in one of his lower lying areas in a greenhouse here that it always had problems.
Yeah, problem with water.
Yeah. Water used to pool there, and it was a disease-prone area. So we came in, Phuong allowed us to work in his worst area, and
10%. Yeah, 10%.
it was, to the growing depth. So 3 or 4, maybe 5 centimetres, which Phuong then incorporated, of compost that we spread on top, a fine grade compost. Phuong incorporated that and then went about his normal management practice. One thing Phuong noticed initially was that in order to wet up the soil where we had the high rate of compost, he would have had to apply too much water to the rest of the crop. So the plants, the young seedlings in the composted area, suffered a bit through lack of water to start with. Now they recovered from that. That's right, after about your first crop, first setting, they'd caught up, haven't they?
Yeah.
So what did you notice after that, Phuong? They came up and grew about the same, appeared about the same.
No, they set up better.
They set better crop,
yeah,
didn't they? That's right. When we came in and did an analysis.
And we counted the number of fruit.
Yep.
Usually another side they set about 3, 4, 5. It's the setting there. But the one setting a bit lighter, because we burn in when not enough water.
Yeah.
But after they start setting, I think you count 17 or 23 each plant.
Yeah.
At least 12 or 13 each setting.
Yeah.
For the fruit for setting.
That's right. And that was an extremely hot year as well, wasn't it? And there were a number of greenhouses where plants really suffered from the hot weather.
Suffered from the hot weather, they burn, but on especially that tree like with the compost, out, with the lack calcium or the burning. And we got good crop for the rest.
So since then, Phuong, now you incorporate a lot more compost. We were talking about it earlier, and you were saying now your watering regime has changed.
Yes.
Quite considerably. So now, when you establish a crop, you give it a good heavy watering because of the improved water holding capacity. Wet it right up, but then you don't have to water as often.
Yes.
And we dug into the soil earlier and we had a look at it, and originally, when I first came here, when you weren't using compost, the water used to, around the drippers, it would pool out on top and then sort of at depth it would contract. And now it's the other way around, it sits on top like this and then moves out.
On the bottom.
And the roots are out in that beautiful looking soil. Salt is the other thing you've noticed, Phuong. The change to the way the salt moves through the soil. It doesn't sit on top anymore, does it?
If we keep spray many fungicide in the glass house, we will kill some fungi, the good fungi
in the soil. That's right.
Yeah.
But you found also, and it's probably, there's a benefit from the improved disease suppressiveness of a healthier plant and a healthier soil, but also the fact that you're watering less frequently, and that has allowed you to, well, you don't have a problem now with powdery mildew like you used to have on the bottom leaves, for example.
Because sometimes on the top they dry up a little bit, but the capacity, the water on the ground, plenty for the plant, and that's why I think the humidity is less. That's why the fungi not start to build up. But to me, if we keep up the fungicide, the plant and the plow very happy, and they can sit up better. Because many times we spray with the fungicide, next day you can see the color plow change.
And you're saying that it's easier to control things like thrips as well, these sort of things?
You control thrips, I think that maybe the plant is stronger.
Yep. nice, glossy,
Yeah.
healthy fruit.
Yes, for one thing, you know, the fruit always better soil and glossy.
Yeah, and a heavier
Fine.
set, and instead of and the
Cell
ability,
life, cell life better.
yeah, and you find that you've been able to spread your crop out, so it's not as densely planted,
Yes, longer the crop,
Yep.
getting longer.
but you get a heavier crop regardless because you have a longer cropping period.
Longer cropping period. If we keep feed them all the time, the soil been coming wet because like before we could feed them every week like capsicum, and begin growing up when the roots start to grow, and we have to keep feed them nearly every week. And I find out more we feed them now, more we kill the soil because some fertilizer inside we don't know how much the plant take away and how much left there. We just guess.
It'd be really interesting to do a soil test too. We did them
Yeah.
earlier on, and there were things we noticed were extremely high potassium levels here, for example. But obviously that wasn't. It was just sitting there year on year. It wasn't available to the plant. Now I'd imagine being able to back off on
Up a
the
little
addition
bit.
of those.
Still
sort of things.
higher, but not like before.
It's just more available to the plant. What was originally locked up in the soil becomes more available to the plant through the use of compost. Plus, the compost itself supplies an amount of that.
We say in fertilizer
Yeah.
because the root got plenty food on the ground.
Yeah.
It's slowly they're growing, and we let feed them.
Yeah. And so you're making a saving in your initial planting savings. You're planting less plants, but you're getting a heavier crop set and a longer cropping period.
So, Phuong, if for some terrible reason you couldn't get any more compost to use in your growing, what would you think? What would you feel?
We make compost.
You know-